Hi there, I'm Jen Ferguson with Artistic Painting Studio, and today we have a little bit different project. We're going to actually foil a pair of cleats. Hey guys, I am so excited about this project. And if you follow me, you do know probably my son does play baseball. His last team he was playing for was the Diamondbacks in AAA. So he's decided he wanted some custom cleats. He's a pitcher and we're going to test these out and see how they hold up. So the first thing you're going to do is just remove those laces, and the next thing we're going to be doing is taping them off. Now, I'm going to fair warn you, this is a tedious project, okay? But we need to isolate the areas that I am planning on applying foil. I'm using a Scotch brand vinyl tape, which I have found to be a little bit easier to work with than regular blue tape. And I want to say probably the best thing about this stuff is it has ability to stretch, okay? And you want to make sure when you're taping these off that you are creating that perfect line that you want to see when you pull the tape. So take your time, work hard on this, okay? And I apologize, but when we pull the tape, if we have tape going in all kinds of different directions, we're going to see all those imperfections in the end. So it's best to go ahead and just take your time and tape off all the areas that you want to isolate for your foils, and tape it off nice and neatly. And I'm using my fingernail to just kind of burnish it on. And as you go around like the toe area, I'm finding that I'm cutting off a piece and then cutting some smaller strips so that when I'm bending around that area, it'll be easier, okay? So don't think you're going to be able to take one long piece and do the whole toe area, but it's better to go ahead and do some shorter pieces and just keep working around. Now, I want to say it took me probably a total of 30 to 45 minutes to tape off, okay? So what I'm going to do on here is tape off any area that I don't want to have foil adhesive or foils on. And you can do any part of the shoe that you want and get it taped off, okay? So once you go through that process of taping off the areas, I'm going to show you all my hard work, okay? So this shoe is completely taped off. I have isolated the lace area, the area that comes down. We're going to go around the toe, same thing here. Oops, my vinyl did move. Okay, so do watch in case you have stretched it beyond its ability. I need to fix that, okay? And we're going to do the heel area. So let's get over to this side and fix that, okay? So I probably tried to bend the tape to make that whole curve and it couldn't hold it, okay? So what I'm gonna try here is snipping the tape, okay? So I put a little cut in it so that when I'm trying to bend it into that area, it will have a little bit more ease to go with that curve, okay? Or just use multiple pieces. But make sure before you get going that you are covered as well as you can be. And depending on, you know, if you're going to do like the whole shoe and you want to foil the whole shoe, you're going to wait on your taping, okay? But because I'm isolating areas, I want it to tape first. Now, the next thing we're going to do is grab some sandpaper. And I'm going to use some 400 grit. I'm actually going to cut this into a smaller piece and we are going to sand all these areas that I want to foil, okay? So all the exposed areas, we're gonna sand. Okay, make sure you do a really good sanding job, sand all those areas. And the next thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a little scuff pad and some acetone, and we're going to clean and scuff those areas up with that as well. So the acetone can just be your nail polish acetone, okay? That will work. So I'm gonna pour just a little bit of acetone on my scuff pad. And again, we're going to clean up and just try to scuff up this area a little bit more. Trying to create the ability for good adhesion, okay, of all of our products and durability. Okay, you want to let that sit for a few minutes, okay, and allow for the acetone to evaporate. And then the next thing we're going to do, guys, is I have found this product here. It's by Clean Strip, called Bulldog Adhesion Promoter. And we're going to use this first, making sure that our foil adhesive will adhere well to that surface. So I'm going to take this outside and spray, but make sure, okay, that's why all the extra tape on here, I made sure that every other area of the shoe is going to be covered so that when I'm spraying that adhesion promoter, it's only going to be sprayed on the areas that are exposed. So I'm going to go spray that and we'll be back. Okay, guys, just make sure with this Bulldog adhesion promoter, you spray this outside or someplace well ventilated, okay? There's lots of warnings on this can. And now, after that has dried, we're gonna go ahead and put on a layer of our foil adhesive. Let me turn that the correct direction so that you can actually read it. And this is our adhesive that will transfer the foil. So I've already put some out on a plate, and I am just going to go ahead and brush this on everywhere that I want to transfer the foil, okay? So with the foil adhesive, you want to let this stuff dry for normally no less than an hour. Being the surface that I'm working on, I'm probably going to let this dry for a couple hours or even overnight, and make sure that it dries to a good, firm, hard tack to give us the best foil release I can get, okay? And then we'll be transferring our foils. Okay, guys, make sure to get 100% coverage of your foil adhesive anywhere that you want to transfer the foil. Allow adequate dry time. And as soon as this is tacked up and ready to go, we'll be back to transfer this gorgeous foil that we picked. Okay, we are ready to actually foil this, okay? And watch the blue tape. The blue tape's there basically just to protect when you're doing any of the spray. Now, I put some plastic down because I'm gonna have to put the shoe on its side for easiest application to foil. And even though it might stick a little bit to the plastic, it won't get stuck. And then we are going to be using this Moxie Paisley foil, which is going to be cool. Now, I have cut a strip long enough where I feel like I can wrap all the way around the shoe so that the pattern is continuous. Now, you can do that, or you could cut smaller sections to manage as well. So I am going to go ahead and get this on here and just lay it down. And I don't want it to touch the heel part, okay? So I'm actually going to cut this off so it does not get stuck over there, because I'm not ready to do that section yet. And we'll try to go as far as we can across the toe area here. Okay, and like I said, it's going to stick to the plastic but not get stuck. So you want to make sure you have something underneath, not like the regular paper that I was working on. That could possibly get stuck and stick to the paper, okay? So I'm using a toothbrush because obviously I'm working on small areas. I'm going to use my hand behind that part of the shoe so that I can get some pressure, because we want to scrub, and we want to scrub really, really well. Now, you can use a toothbrush when you get to bigger areas. This is a nail scrub brush, and that will also work. So just depending on the size of the area, I just find the toothbrush gets into all those little nooks and crannies, okay? And I think I'm going to go ahead and wrap this all the way around before we start releasing. So I'm going to get the shoe up, okay, holding onto the foil so that I can flip the shoe over. And since it's already stuck in a few spots, let's just try to work with. Ooh, I don't like where that placed. Okay, let's see. Have we stuck? A little bit. Okay, I wanted to angle that up better. So be careful when you do flip over, okay? I have a few spots here that I'm going to get a little bit of a crinkle on. So where the toe went around, okay, I've just got a little section here where the patterns might not be perfect, but I'm sure it will still work, and nobody but me is probably going to know that. And you guys watching the video. Let me get that cut off again. Okay, I wasn't watching that. So make sure that you don't allow it to touch any place, because foils love to transfer pretty much as soon as they hit the adhesive. Well, I was lucky that that did not grab the heel part, because I'm not ready to do that yet. Okay, so we're going to scrub really, really good, okay? And then we're going to start to pull back. Now, if I find that it's not completely transferred in an area, lay that back. You might have to use your fingernail kind of just to push it back into there. And then pull it away again, okay? And then just keep checking as you're releasing the foil, and make sure that you're getting as close to 100% coverage as possible. Realize we're working where there's stitching, so you might have to scrub down into those areas a little bit more, but oh my gosh, this is coming out so incredible. These are going to be so fun, okay? And again, anywhere that you're working on two different levels, okay? So this part of the shoe is up higher than this part here, so I'm just getting it down in there with my fingernail. I'm trying to make sure that we have full coverage everywhere. And the stitching, you got to really scrub, okay, to get it into all that. Okay, let's get this flipped back over so I can finish off the other side. Oh my gosh, you guys. This is fabulous. Okay, it's sticking to my vinyl tape. Okay, so let me get that unstuck there so I can actually show you guys how this is looking. Oh my gosh, these are going to be so stinking awesome. Okay, let's get the heel done and see if I can get that tape stuck back to the shoe. Okay, and also whatever the direction you use the foil, continue with that, okay? So I cut off a piece, and then I actually cut it in half, okay? And the heel's not very wide, so we don't have to cut a big piece, okay? But this way, I'm continuing with that foil in the same direction. So we're gonna go ahead and wrap the heel. And you can decide where you want the design to even start. Application on there. And let's just finish these babies up. Okay, you guys, I think these turned out stinking fabulous, okay? And they are going to be so awesome. The next step we're going to do is put on our final coat. And final coat is a real great top coat that is safe over the foils. So we always like to use this, okay? Normally we do what's called a wipe-on varnish, and we just use a microfiber sponge, okay? And I keep the sponge in the baggie because it's just easier. And if there's plenty on here, you don't have to always reload it. And all you do is just wipe it on, okay? Because we want to protect these foils. We are going to be using a spray top coat sealer, but I don't want to put that directly over the foils because we just don't know how that will react. So it's always best to protect the surface, and you can see how easy this is. The final coat dries within about 10 minutes, you guys, so that you can let this dry, put on another layer, let that dry, put on another layer, and then we will grab our spray and finish them off. Okay, our shoe is ready for its final coat. I'm using Rust-Oleum matte clear enamel top coat, and I'm going to spray on a few of these coats because remember, these are cleats. They're going to get used. So I'm going to go outside because this is not something you want to spray indoors. Make sure you go into a well-ventilated area. I'm going to put 2 or 3 coats on, and then we will untape these shoes for their final reveal. Make sure to spray several layers of the top coat. I did 3 or 4 on this pair, and let them dry completely before removing the tape. And this is what you're going to end up with. So these are absolutely fabulous. I think Tyler is going to be very proud to be wearing these. And in the description below, you will find a complete list of all the materials and supplies, and make sure to always hit that button to subscribe so you don't miss any of our upcoming tutorials.